Donk Nation, Jax and Janets, greetings and welcome to your daily dose of donkey with Ginger. It's your boy, the Viking Donkey, bringing you some nonsensical Steelers talk. Not much Steelers talk. Recorded this the same time as the last list, but this could be a little different, so really no news to talk about out there in Steelers world. So we're back at it. We got another list. We have the top 5 running backs that Donkey remembers. Now, this list could be a little weird because I remember the tail end of Emmitt Smith and Jerome Bettis' career, but I really don't remember their whole career. So, not guys who are going to make the list, even though they are gold jacket guys that I remember seeing play. We got pick guys that I don't really remember as pick guys, but I saw them in the NFL as that, like Curtis, my favorite Martin, that doesn't make the list. You got guys like Ricky Williams, Tiki Barber, Jamal Charles, who had a great stretch in there as a speed back before injuries really took a toll on him, that aren't going to get there. You have Edgerrin James, Frank Gore, Clinton Portis. The list of epic running backs that I can remember just goes on and on and on. And every time I think I thought of every name I can remember, people point out other really good running backs out there that I don't know. I don't even think about, like Brian Westbrook. Really talented runners or pass catchers that maybe change the position a little bit that just don't seem to fit my list and don't fit my just miss it category either, because my just miss it category is going to go to two guys, one who currently has a chance to get there, King Henry. Looking at you, Derrick Henry, the way his career has gone so close to getting there for me, and two guys who just missed it that are really great names. Terrell Davis just didn't play long enough, but he really sticks in my mind as one of my favorite early ones, just like Warwick Dunn did, but that's because that was the first jersey I ever got was Warwick Dunn. So, yeah, that's that. But CJ2K, so hard to not put Chris Johnson on this list. All the things I remember from him and all the great things that he did out there. And that's not even thinking about guys who I remember for great dances like Jamal Dirty Bird Anderson down there in Atlanta. You could go, like I said, you can go on and on and on, and this list just doesn't end. Well, I mentioned Derrick Henry. There's a few other names. We'll start this time with the guys I think have potential to get there. You're talking Christian McCaffrey, Alvin Kamara, maybe Saquon Barkley if he can take that continued step in staying healthy. But those are really, I think, the three guys outside of Henry who are really on my list of guys who could make this list. I'm sure I'm forgetting someone out there because, like I said, the list of great running backs just seems to not end. Although now we're getting more towards a generation where running backs are not featured for 10 straight years. It's like 4 years and move on, and you're done by your 30s. But we got to get to the list. We got to name a top 5 running backs. And I would be remiss if I didn't start my list. Plain and simple, really easy. It has to be Marshawn Lynch at number 5. Beast mode. Maybe the career numbers aren't as good as some of the other guys who you're going to see on this list. But my goodness gracious, was he impactful. Everything that he did out there just ran people over, just did everything you could possibly want out of a running back. And really, really a very memorable runner for me. The way he hit people, the way he ran people over, just things that beast mode was able to do. And he could even catch a football once in a while. Not the greatest pass catcher out there, but every now and then he hauled in one that was just, you know, pretty for it. Number 5, I have to go with arguably the best undrafted free agent in history, and that is Priest Holmes and the Kansas City Chiefs. Dude just had a heck of a career, put it together, and always going to be remembered for me because he was a guy that no one wanted. I mean, seriously, he was just a guy that no one had wanted, and I believe his career even ended a little early with an injury, but my goodness gracious, undrafted into turning into what Priest Holmes was, just Absolutely amazing. That brings us to number 3. Without a doubt, Adrian Peterson is a name that everyone who grew up in my generation is going to remember. He went out there, he ran the ball forever, it seemed. He was always effective. Just another guy who just never seemed to get on the right side of the winning thing. But no doubt about it, the way Adrian Peterson was, that upright running style that just no one could stop, whew, pure money. Now, this list, I'm a little sad because the Pitt Panther star falls just short of topping the list. And without a doubt for me, number 2 has to be Shady McCoy, LaShawn McCoy, the Pitt Panther man who brought it home all the time for the Panthers, goes to Philly, brings it home for Philly all the time. The touchdowns are there. Shady's there. Stays healthy a little more, maybe he gets to top this list. But LaShawn McCoy, to me, his running style, his shiftiness, his elusiveness was just top notch, and is a guy that has to top my list because the moves, impeccable. Just, yes, all these guys, crazy. But to me, the best running back I ever watched has to be a guy who he's synonymous with scoring touchdowns. He's synonymous with being amazing. He is LaDainian Tomlinson, and the things he did for the San Diego Chargers, just, you don't know who he is. You clearly didn't watch football in the early to mid late 2010s. That man just took over the league, was dominant, was scoring touchdowns at will, and obviously the most important thing in the game is scoring touchdowns, and he was really good at it. There's my list. I don't think I have any reason to have to defend number 1, but if you do, tell me your list. Tell me why I need to defend that number 1. Once again, put in when you remember so that we can see if it's a era thing, a generational thing that leads to these differences, and who different generations really view. Like, if you got to see guys like Barry Sanders and remember it, because to me, watching highlights, Barry Sanders is the guy I would say is the greatest running back of all time. But then there's not as many highlights for guys like Walter Payton or anything along that era. So please let me know. Like I said, I don't remember enough Emmitt Smith or Jerome Bettis to really say the whole story, but even when I remember them, they were still great players. I'd love to hear your list. I'd love to share the list. And I guess this time I have to give a shout out. And obviously, I'm going to do the same thing I did last time. Shout out to the man top of my list. That's LaDainian Tomlinson. What a career he had. What an impressive resume he has built himself. And now I guess I should let you know. I am the Viking Donkey. That's Viking_Donkey on Twitch and Twitter. Your daily dose of donkey with Ginger is the YouTube channel where you get to catch all this fun content. Hopefully we get Laskers and Gingy back sometime soon, and we get to talk some Steelers news, because by the time I'm back, I'm sure it's going to be time to break into Steeler football. What's going on in camp? Who's shining out? Who's falling back? But until then, leave us a like, comment, follow, tell us what you feel about the Daily Dose of Donkey with Ginger. Tell me what you thought about the nonsensical Steelers talk to get you through the offseason. Jax, Jennets, love y'all. It's that time. Wave them if you got them. Here we go.